Don't miss the tea. Subscribe now.
Girl, pour me another glass of wine. No, fill it to the brim. You are going to need a drink for this, and honestly, I might need the entire bottle just to get the words out of my mouth. You know I've been acting weird lately. Jittery, checking my phone like a teenager, looking like I'm carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. Well, buckle up, because this is going to sound bad, like Lifetime movie bad, like I am the villain in my own life story bad. I'm dating Mark. Yes, that Mark. Sarah's Mark. Don't look at me like that. Please, just listen. Let's rewind. You know Sarah was my person. For 20 years, she was the one constant in my life. Then she met Mark, and they were together for 5 perfect, annoying years. For the first 3, I was the supportive best friend. But then something shifted. One day, I woke up and realized that when I thought about my future, I didn't just see Sarah, I saw him. And I hated myself for it. I felt like a parasite, dirty, a traitor. It's the cardinal sin of girl code. I swore I would take that secret to my grave to protect her, but I never imagined she'd get to hers first. I had fallen in love with my best friend's boyfriend, but I buried that secret so deep it was practically in the earth's core. I would have died alone before I let that secret hurt her. And then she died. It's been a couple of years and I still can't say it without my throat closing up. It was so sudden. One minute she was there, vibrant and loud and just Sarah, and the next she was gone. My world didn't just stop, it disintegrated. During that first year, Mark and I clung to each other, but not in a weird way. It was pure grief. We were the 2 people who loved her the most. He would call me just to hear stories about her from when we were kids, and I would call him just to make sure he was eating. It was comforting, knowing someone else felt the same jagged hole in the universe that I did. But we drifted. It was too painful, I think. Looking at him reminded me she was dead. Looking at me reminded him of what he lost. So I ran. I took that job in Europe. I moved across the ocean to get away from the ghosts. I barely spoke to him for a year. I thought that was it. I thought he was just a chapter in a book I had finally closed. I moved to Europe to escape, thinking he was a closed chapter. But a few months ago, I flew back home for the holidays. I went to a mutual friend's party, and there he was. He looked older, tired, but God, he looked so good. Our eyes locked across the room. He walked right over, and the rest of the world just dissolved. We stood in the corner of that kitchen for 4 hours. We talked about her, of course. But then we talked about other things. My job, his new dog. It felt so natural. It felt like breathing after holding my breath for 2 years. There was this chemistry, this electric hum that I had spent years ignoring, and suddenly there was no reason to ignore it anymore. I was terrified. I was standing there looking at his lips, thinking, this is Sarah's boyfriend. Stop it. At the end of the night, he walked me to my car. He looked at me with this intense, searching look and said, I didn't know how much I missed you until tonight. And then he asked me out, on a date. My mouth, my traitorous mouth, just opened and said, yes. So here we are. We've been dating for months, and I'm trying to move back home for him. And this is where the tea gets bitter. I'm moving back home to be with my dead best friend's boyfriend, and this is where the tea gets bitter. Because it's wonderful. That's the worst part. Being with him feels so easy, so right. We skipped all the awkward getting-to-know-you phases because we already know everything. He knows my baggage, I know his grief. We fit together like 2 jagged pieces of a puzzle. But the guilt is eating me alive. Every time he kisses me, I wait for a lightning bolt to strike me down. Every time we laugh, I feel like I'm cheating, not on a partner, but on her memory. I keep imagining her walking into the room, looking at us with that disappointed face. I wonder if she's somewhere screaming at me, that's mine, you knew I loved him and you took him. I loved her so much. I would have never touched him while she was alive, but she's not alive. And I'm here, and he's here. Sometimes I think I deserve to be alone forever as punishment, but other times I'm lying on his chest, listening to his heartbeat, and I think life is cruel enough. Why can't we find some happiness in the aftermath? Maybe she'd want him to be with me, someone who loves her memory as much as he does. I don't know what to do, so tell me. Be brutal. Am I the worst best friend in history?